tube starting up at the top with the mouth, running all the way to the other end, which is the anus. Agree? The accessory organs on this side, is it anywhere in this tube? Is it part of the tube? Negative, but it helps. Agree? It helps. So the salivary gland, the teeth, the tongue, liver, gallbladder, pancreas. I think this is one of your question this morning, yes? You guys remember? Because right there, this is like slide number 3. Okay, so you don't have to look very far. Just come to the slide, first set of slides, and I expect you to at least get this part on your own. You guys understand? Okay, from now on, at least go through the first set of slides. This is the overview of this chapter, correct? Okay, and so then the detail comes in, and I don't expect you to know the details, it's a lot, but at least that much. Okay. Once upon a time, week 1. Week 1, you guys had to remember the 9 regions of the abdominal pelvic cavity. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Or the 4 quadrants. You guys remember that? Week 1. Okay. Should you still know that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because guess what? I can ask you, stab wound to the right upper quadrant, what organs are you worried about? Mm-hmm. The liver, the gallbladder, part of the colon, agree? Right? So something like that, that would be totally applicable today as well as week 1, agree? But I didn't ask you that week 1 because you're brand new today. You're not brand new, and I need you to know that down cold, okay? Where things are in your abdominal pelvic area. Okay? All right. Okay. So the propulsion, which is moving things along, that's peristalsis. So here's the showing you peristalsis versus the other movement is segmentation. So smooth muscle will do both for us. As I said, what's peristalsis? You're pushing it along, agree? How? By sequential squeezing, yeah? Squeezing, moving it along. Squeezing of what? Smooth muscle. Okay? What's segmentation? Mixing. Yeah, you see the word mixing? So this is more just kind of random mixing, which is random squeezing. Yeah, random squeezing of the smooth muscle. And it allows the stuff inside to kind of go back and forth, okay? Go back and forth, and so it mixes with the enzyme to help break the content down as well, okay? Yeah.
On the green sheet, you have like teeth and tongue under digestive system.
Yeah, because to me it's in the tube, whereas the book here calls it accessory organ. It is accessory organ, but it's right there in the tube.
Okay.
So that's why I put it, teeth and tongue is in the oral, right? It is accessory organ. Okay. So let's go quickly through the mouth. I'm going to go to a picture. Here we go. Everyone wonder what that thing is called? What's that thing in the back of your throat hanging down? Uvula. Okay. And it does vibrate when you say Okay. Hard palate, soft palate. Does that make sense? Okay. Frenulum is the little thing that attaches. So this little thing that attaches your lips to the inside there, that's this frenulum. So they name it inferior versus superior. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Labial, what do you think labial is? The lips. Okay, labial is lips. And like I said, the frenulum is that little attachment. Okay, let's see what else you see in here. You see arches. Gee, why do they call it arches? Because it curves, right? And look at how they name these arches? They call them glossopalatine. Glosso is tongue. Okay, glosso is tongue. Palatine is the palate. Pharyngopalatine. You like that word? Pharyngo stands for pharynx, right? That's the back of your mouth. Agree? Pharynx. Palatine. Palatine tonsils. Oh, we're going to go into immune system next. So we have tonsils in this area here, part of the immune system. And you can see them just hitting right behind the arch, or between the two arches. You see the tonsils. Now remember, tonsils are part of the immune system. Is this a strategic location to have tonsil? Yeah, because it's an opening, yeah? They can come in to attack you, yes? So it makes sense to have part of the immune system right there at the opening. Okay. Salivary duct orifice. This is the opening of the salivary gland. You saw the salivary gland in lab, yes? So what kind of salivary gland might open underneath the tongue here? What gland was under the tongue?
Oh, the
Sublingual and the submandibular, right? They open underneath the tongue. Does that make sense? Okay. Yeah, so that's the sublingual and submandibular. You don't really know which is which, just so yeah, they're under the tongue. Okay. And then, let's see. Teeth, gingiva, all that's easy. Okay, side view. Do we have a model like this in lab? You bet. So it's just a matter of understanding this picture so that when you see the model on the test, you can answer it correctly. Okay? Okay, so I don't know how much of these words are on your list, but it should sound familiar, don't you think? Okay, so any questions here before I move on?
Is there a higher absorption rate under your tongue or not?
A what?
Is there like a higher absorption rate under your tongue or not?
Oh, because why do people put their medication under the tongue? So you're saying? We have blood vessels here, and so you have blood vessels everywhere, correct? But the thing is, though, if you swallow, it's going to have to go down the esophagus and get processed by your stomach and intestine before it can get absorbed. So when you take pills or when you take any kind of substance and you stick it under the tongue, if it's small enough, you have to remember the molecule has to be small enough to be absorbed, right? Because most of the stuff we eat is not small enough to be absorbed. So if you ground it up and make it powder, then it's small enough, yeah. And also if the molecule is small enough, it'll get absorbed into the bloodstream right away. So you have blood vessel everywhere, and you bypass the whole digestive tract because this takes too long, the digestive tract. So yeah, you want to just stick it under the tongue and get absorbed into the bloodstream. But it has to be powdery, and that's where medication works. You can't stick a piece of beef, like a piece of steak, underneath the tongue and say, okay, let's wait for this to happen. It's not, because it's too big. All right, so last time we were in the airway. Today I want you to focus on the esophagus. Okay? All right, so we're good? Yeah, I'm going to skip all of this because to me it's pretty straightforward. Okay? Want to spend time on stuff that are more challenging. So here we talk about the glands, salivary glands, submandibular glands. Okay. So, does this look familiar? Parotid gland, yes? That's this big little thing right here. And it's a gland that has a duct that goes into your oral cavity up here. Make sense? Does it go underneath the tongue? No, it doesn't have to because it's above the tongue. So it's very logical. The duct empties above the tongue. But the other two glands are beneath the tongue, right? So the duct comes under the tongue. How did I get this? Nice, airline. Sail. Okay, all right. make sense? You may have forgotten, but I introduced the word endocrine and exocrine before. Anyone remember? I'm just going to review. Endocrine gland versus exocrine gland. Anyone remember? Exocrine gland, you have duct. Exocrine, you have a duct, and it's going to empty the content out the duct. So you're looking at salivary glands here, yes? Are they endocrine glands or exocrine glands? Exocrine, because there's a lot of ducts, right? A lot of ducts. Endocrine gland, when we talk about hormones,
Capillaries, right? Or no?
hormones are going to go to capillaries. So the gland makes hormones, and that hormone will go into capillaries. And that is blood, right? Goes into blood. Okay, so we're going to visit this again and again and again. Just keep in mind the two main types of glands in the body are either endocrine or exocrine, okay? So that pancreatic duct, remember that little fishbone thingy? Pancreatic duct. So if the content goes into the pancreatic duct, is that endocrine or exocrine? Exocrine. But later on, you learn about pancreas as endocrine. So it's the one rare gland that will do both. Pancreas will do both exocrine today with the digestive chapter, and then next week or the following week we'll talk about a pancreas as an endocrine gland as well. Okay. All right, so I review. We have the duct, and then the glandular portion. These are called alveolus. So what do you guys think? Is this branch or is this simple gland? It's branch. Because the duct comes down and it starts branching. Agree? That's what a branch duct or branch gland looks like. So this is compound gland. Believe it or not, we talked about this week 1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so review, like I said, is review. Okay.
That's a compound gland?
That's a compound gland. Yeah, compound acinar, to be exact. Alright. Okay, so we have saliva. Okay, just really interesting. Saliva moistens our food, chemical breakdown of carbohydrate. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing I want you to know. Okay, so let's start a table, shall we? It's not physiology, but I kind of want you to have an overview of what's going on in your digestive tract. So we have mouth with saliva. All right, so right here, it's going to break down what? Starch. Agree? And the enzyme is salivary amylase. Get it? ASE? We talked about this already? And that's going to go taking starch to smaller sugar. Okay? That happens right there in the mouth. And then we have watery medium, so it's the watery stuff in saliva that helps break it down. We also have lysozyme. What does that sound like? Lysozyme sounds like lysosome, because that's what it is. It has antibacterial element. So it's like a protein that will, it has antibodies that will help defend your body. Lysozyme, lysosome, that's what lysosome did, right? It break down unwanted stuff. Okay. All right, so anyway, teeth, gosh, just basic stuff. What the three parts of a tooth? Crown, neck, root. Okay. Now you should also know there's this hard thing on top called the enamel. And then what's the gum around your tooth? Gingiva. I mean, that's pretty basic stuff, don't you think? Okay. Now, a little more specific, inside the tooth you have the dentine, and then there's this hollow cavity called the pulp cavity. Okay. So the hard stuff is up there, the enamel, and then comes something softer, the dentine, and then comes the pulp cavity. Why is it a cavity? Because you see all this little red and blue and yellow. Ooh, it's yellow today. What's red and blue? Arteries and veins, blood supply, right? These are living tissue, agree? The yellow is nerve. That's why we have toothaches, yeah? Because inside the tooth are nerves. And when they're exposed, they're not out. So a root canal, that's this thing, right? So what do you think a root canal is? It's a procedure to work in that area. Do we have nerves in that area? Yeah. That's why it hurts, yes? So no one wants to come into a root canal voluntarily. Does that make sense? So just stuff that you should know because you go to the dentist and they will say things like this and then you should know what it is. All right. I don't need you to memorize this in way too much detail. Okay, like what year, age, oh my gosh, who cares, okay? But I do want you to know the biggie, deciduous teeth. You know what a deciduous tree is? When the leaf falls off during the winter time. Deciduous. So deciduous teeth is your baby teeth. It's gonna go away, okay? Deciduous. And after it goes away, what do you get? You get the permanent teeth. Right? So let's slow down here. I do want you to know these names. Incisors, canine, premolars, molars. Okay. Basic vocabulary. What's in the front? Incisors. And then next door to that would be the canine. And then comes the premolars, and way in the back are the molars. Don't worry about what age you get it, I don't care. I'd rather you just know the vocabularies of where they are. Okay?
So like first, second, third molar?
No, you don't even know that. Just know them as incisors, canine, premolars, and molars. Okay? So those, once again, you're going to hear that in a dentist's office, correct? So you might as well learn it now. Okay? So that you understand what your dentist is telling you. Wisdom tooth. Wisdom tooth is the last one, right? And the molar, way back there. I don't know why they call it wisdom tooth. That's nothing to do with wisdom, but anyway. Alright, here is where it gets challenging. Alright. Maybe I'm going to skip this because let's just go straight to the easy stuff. And then after the break, we'll go to the hard stuff. Okay, so let's get the details of the stomach. Do these words look familiar? Yeah? Okay. So the gross structure you can see with the naked eye. Histology is the stuff that you're going to see underneath the slide. So a lot of these words are on your lab list, agree? Okay, so should you know them? Yes. Most definitely. Okay. Now, oh darn it, gotta go back. back to this portion here. Okay. This was on your pre-class question. And actually, the walls of the digestive tract can be broken down to how many layers? From this picture, what do you guys see? Right, hold up with your fingers. Four. Good. And they are in bold for you. Agree? What innermost? Mucosa, and then submucosa, and then muscularis, and outside is serosa. Okay. So the whole digestive tract, starting with the esophagus down to the rectum, we have these 4 layers running all the way through. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to give you the little details. Let's start inside the mucosa. We have epithelium. Gee, does that sound familiar? Yeah, histology. So that's epithelium in there. And then underneath the epithelium, we have something called lamina propria. Okay. And then outside of that is what? What's that word? Muscularis mucosa. What does muscularis mean? You don't have to write it. What is muscularis mean?
Muscle.
Muscle. What kind of muscle? Smooth. Today is all about smooth muscle, isn't it? Okay. Now, they call it muscularis because it's smooth muscle. That's good. But why do we call it mucosa? Because it's in the, It's in the mucosa. Right? Here's the big heading, agree? It's in the mucosa. So that's why they tack on the word mucosa. Okay. Anatomy. This is what I love about anatomy. Every word is there for a reason. They just don't sprinkle it willy-nilly. Okay. Okay. Let's move on. What does the prefix sub mean? Below. So the next layer is called submucosa. Is that very logical? Okay. What is in the sub? Okay, so this picture is this pink area. You guys see? The pink area is the submucosa. And in the submucosa, you see blood vessels and glands, right? Blood vessel and glands. And nerve. Why? Because for the muscle to contract, you need to stimulate it with nerve. Say it again. So the submucosal nerve plexus, that's on this yellow line here, stimulate what muscle? Stimulate the, you guys aren't answering my question. Submucosal nerve plexus will stimulate the muscularis mucosa. It's right next door to it, isn't it? I see it's hanging on to it. So it's very logical. Whatever it's next to, that's what it's going to stimulate. Okay? Make sense? So submucosal nerve plexus, that's this little yellow line. And those little red things, that's the muscularis mucosa muscle, okay? Now, I'm going to change pen because I want you to make sure that you know it's a different color. The next layer is just muscularis by itself. What is muscularis referring to? What does that mean? Muscle, yes? What kind of muscle? Smooth muscle. Like, what? There's another layer of smooth muscle? Oh, yeah. I changed pen color because I want you to keep this layer apart from that layer. You guys see? It's two different layers. They're not the same. That's in the mucosa. This is all by itself. Okay? And it's here. How many layers of smooth muscle do you see? Show me with your finger. I want you to pay attention to this picture here. How many layers of smooth muscle in here? How many layers do you see? Read the line, read the label. Okay, both of you say 2, and that's correct. What are the layers? The inner circular and the outer longitudinal layer. Crammed in the middle is what? Nerve plexus. Is nerve plexus muscle? No, it's nerve, right? That's the name nerve in it. So this nerve plexus will stimulate what muscle? Both, the inner and the outer. Agree? So this nerve plexus will stimulate that and this because it's closest to it. Yeah? Okay? See how this is different than that guy? Because that stimulates that guy, right? That make sense? Okay, so slow down, look at the picture. These nerve plexus stimulate the inner circular and outer longitudinal layer. Okay. Hang in there, we're almost done. What's the last layer? A serosa. And there's a serosa. Change pen again, because I want you to know it's a different layer now. The serosa is that last layer. And what do you see in the serosa in this picture? The lymphatic and the red and blue. What's the red and blue, gang? Veins and arteries. Yeah? So the serosa has this blue, red, green stuff. Correct? Yes? In other words, all these vessels, blood vessels and lymphatic vessels, are running in the serosa. And where do they come from? Well, if you trace it over, it came over there, right? Yeah? It came over here, and it came from over here. Yes? Okay, so last time I really harped on the hepatic portal system, didn't I? Because the drainage, the blood supply going to the digestive tract and away from the digestive tract is big, is huge. So here you see the blood vessels and the lymphatic vessel coming to and from the digestive tract. It runs in a layer by itself called the serosa. Okay? It's its own name. That make sense? Okay? So is this picture pretty key? Yeah. A big overview of the whole digestive tract. Okay? But one more thing. If you kind of dim the light, make it go through. It's easy to see. Right here, this is where mesentery. Okay, mesentery. So, if I draw, okay, so, oh darn, I can't. Oh, I'll do the best I can. So I'm going to draw a line here, and I'm going to follow this layer. Okay, so here's the line. And it goes this way. Agree? You guys with me? And it's going to obviously cut across here. If it was intact, right? We didn't cut this exposed, so it's going to go dot, 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 over here, agree? And then it continues over here. And then it goes up and around to the other side, which I can't draw on the wall. Darn, okay. So up around the other side. And then it comes over here. And now it's this other layer. Up there. Does that make sense? So it makes up the serosa, yeah? The serosa is that black line around the organ. We call that the serosa visceral peritoneum. Visceral. Aha. Visceral. Did we see visceral before? Yeah, we did. Where? Around the heart and around the lungs. And it was, what's the opposite of visceral? Was the parietal layer. Agree? So visceral parietal come together and they form the serous membrane. You guys remember that? And what's in between the visceral parietal layer? The serous fluid. Okay? And why? Why do we have this in the body? Because of friction, because these things move. Agree? Do you think your digestive system tract moves? Yes. So does it make sense why we must have this visceral parietal relationship now? Yes. Okay. But unlike the heart, where it's just one thing, your digestive tract is this long, windy, ugly thing, correct? So you're going to have an extra word. I already introduced you visceral peritoneum, that's the serosa. Agree? That you already know. The parietal peritoneum is up against the inside of your chest wall, I mean not chest wall, but abdominal wall. Okay, so if you were to make an incision and you flap this thing open, the inside lining of the abdominal wall is the parietal peritoneum. Okay, say it again. Make an incision and you open it like a book. The inside of the abdominal wall would be the parietal. The visceral is the serosa. Okay? Connecting the visceral and the parietal is the new word, mesentery. This thing right here. You guys understand that concept? Okay. So let me now show you this picture. Here's the side view. Let me erase. So here is a side view of my abdominal cavity. Read. So the small loops are what? What do you guys think? Small intestine, yeah? Okay, so this would be small intestine. So I'll say SI for small intestine. Okay. This thing here is the stomach. The stomach. I'm sorry. That's the large intestine. I got confused. Okay. So here is the stomach. And this is the large intestine. I'll make it a different color. Okay, and all this is SI. Yeah, I just don't want to take my time to say it. Okay, you guys with me? So cutting the body this way, and you're seeing the cut view. Stomach's up here, then comes the transverse colon, you guys remember that? Transverse colon, and all this is just a bunch of small intestines, okay? So last time my little line was around the actual organ, and I called that serosa. You guys remember? Around the actual organ is serosa, and that's also called visceral peritoneum. Okay?
Do the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of continuing the story of where I left off. Okay. So that's serosa. That's all the blue things. So every digestive organ, every digestive tract, okay, gonna have that serosa, that visceral peritoneum, okay? But there are more, okay? Up against the body wall, this layer right here is up against the body wall. Here it is. Remember I told you I made an incision inside of my abdominal wall? Is this line, right? The black line? That would be what? Parietal peritoneum. Alright? Parietal versus visceral. That so far you guys know from the other chapter. Okay, you guys with me? But connecting the visceral and the parietal is another membrane, which has a new name because it only applies to the digestive system. Okay, so if it connects the parietal and to the visceral, but it connects the small intestine, is all the green stuff. Okay, and we call that mesentery proper. Visceral to parietal of small intestine. Of SI to parietal. Mesentery proper. Okay, so just follow along with me here. The green line, right? That's the small intestine, agree? That's the visceral, serosa. And then you follow the green line, it goes here. It goes here. So let's see if I take this one here. Aha. Then it goes become visceral. Agree? Can I see that? So doesn't matter what green line you pick. The mesentery proper is between the visceral of the small intestine and the parietal layer, the parietal peritoneum. Does that make sense? Okay. So how many layer is this? Mesentery proper is 2 layers. You guys see, there's always 2 lines, right? 2 lines. And in between are blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. Remember that last picture I showed you, the serosa? Serosa, and I drew that black line, and then when I came over on this side, it was blood vessel, red, green, blue, remember that? So those blood vessels was wedged between the 2 layers of the mesentery. Same deal here. The 2 layers of the mesentery, in the middle are your red, blue, and green lines. That makes sense. Go back to that picture. Hang on, I'll do that. we go. Over here, red, blue, and green, yeah? It's in between the two layers of the mesentery. It wraps around, so mesentery here, but it becomes serosa here, right? Serosa here, visceral peritoneum. And it, on way over here, it's going to connect to the parietal peritoneum. Way over here is going to connect to the parietal peritoneum, that's the black one. Okay. You guys got that? And now you tell me, what is the greater omentum? Greater omentum is going to connect the visceral, what? Right? So, greater omentum. So here it is, agree? It's going to connect the visceral of what? The visceral layer of the large intestine to the stomach. See? This red thing, right? Stomach and large intestine. That make sense? That's what greater omentum does. Visceral layer of the large intestine to the visceral layer of the stomach. Okay. Agree? So it's here in the front. And this is the front, agree? My body, this is the front side. So when you open up a cadaver, you're going to see this curtain, this fatty curtain. That's the greater omentum. Show you a picture. There you go. Whoa. So here's the abdominal area. We took off the abdominal wall, and staring back at you is this fatty curtain called greater omentum. It connects the stomach. Ah, remember the stomach has two curves. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
What's the bigger curve? Greater curvature. And that would be here, agree? Hey, look, what's hanging off of the greater curvature? The greater omentum. Okay, logical, right? Hanging off of the greater curvature is the greater omentum coming down. And it's going to do a U-turn, come back up to hook onto the, what is this thing here? The transverse colon. That's the large intestine. Okay. There we go. Greater curvature is here. Coming on down. Okay, there's two lines, right? You can see two lines? Two lines coming on down, and it's going to make a U-turn, coming on up, and it wraps around the transverse colon. So that's the greater omentum. Okay? So the greater omentum is actually how many layers? 4. 2 coming down, 2 going up. 2 and 2 is 4. It's actually 4 layers. Okay? So now you tell me. So we did greater omentum. So greater omentum is visceral of the large intestine to the visceral of the small of the stomach. Okay. What is the lesser omentum? It's up there. Agree? So someone write for me, or you can talk to your neighbor, how would you define lesser omentum?